are saving lives.
In his daily briefing, President Trump addressed states that are slowly reopening and praised governors on how they're handling the pandemic. He also talked about businesses and universities that are returning money from the stimulus bill intended to help small businesses.
Also very pleased that Harvard, as you know, Harvard and Stanford and Princeton and numerous other universities and colleges, and also large businesses have sent funds back to us. And in some cases, I stopped funds that I looked at, and we are pleased to report that the funds have either not gone out, or it's about $350 million, and they've either not gone out or we've renegotiated it, and they're not getting them. So
the president also thanked patients who've recovered from the virus and are donating plasma for research. He said researchers are close to a vaccine. However, health experts say it's at least a year away.
In less than 24 hours, Georgia will become one of the first states to reopen during the pandemic.
Our Atlanta bureau chief, Archith Seshadri, joins us now live from Atlanta with reaction. Archith, everyone around the country is talking about what Georgia is in the middle of doing here tomorrow. What are folks there saying?
Yeah, it's one of those big questions, right? Georgia is one of the last states to, in fact, close during this pandemic, and now one of the first to reopen. Most people that we've spoken to are simply surprised, simply shocked. This includes mayors from all over Georgia. Atlanta's Mayor Keisha Lance Bottoms, who in fact is on the coronavirus task force along with Georgia's governor, Brian Kemp. And yesterday there was a sort of a back and forth between Georgia's governor as well as the U.S. president. Trump, of course, saying that it's too soon for Georgia to reopen. But the governor went back and tweeted back last night saying that he is confident about his decision, saying that he is relying on public health data in deciding to move forward and reopen Georgia, and that it is crucial to do so because this is imperative for the economy. Some people are just surprised that nail salons and barber shops are going to be opening. How are you going to practice social distancing? Let's listen into what U.S. President Donald Trump had to say about the decision.
I told the governor of Georgia, Brian Kemp, that I disagree strongly with his decision to open certain facilities which are in violation of the Phase 1 guidelines for the incredible people of Georgia. They're incredible people. But at the same time, he must do what he thinks is right. I want him to do what he thinks is right. But I disagree with him on what he's doing.
Now, what's interesting about all of this is some Georgia Democrats who typically don't agree with U.S. President Donald Trump did agree with President Trump's decision to sort of criticize Kemp's decision. Now, here's what's going to be opening up on Friday: gyms, fitness centers, bowling alleys, barbershops, nail salons, hair salons, and some massage therapy centers here. The crucial decision here is, of course, that these are allowed to be open. They don't have to be open. And on Monday, the 27th, theaters and restaurants can now offer dine-in services. A lot of folks that we've spoken to, and especially on social media, say they're going to wait it out. They're going to ride out the storm. They're not going to open up just yet, going to wait till they see a little bit more decline in that curve. We spoke to an Emory doctor who said that he has not seen 14 days of a decline in Georgia, and the cases are going up. We're well over 20,000 positive cases here. So it's going to be a wait and watch to see what happens tomorrow, if the governor made the right decision or if, in fact, it was a little too soon.
Even the mayor of Atlanta says that there's been an increase by 14% in deaths in her city. My question is, will the mayors comply? A lot of them are against it, but will they comply?
Well, that's the big question. The mayor, unfortunately, the mayors of any of the cities in Georgia, Augusta, Atlanta, Savannah, are actually not allowed to, under this executive order, allowed to make any changes because the governor's order is final. So they can't change it, whether it's less or more stricter. But what Keisha Lance Bottoms did say, she's been posting on social media and has talked extensively with the national media. She says, use common sense, stay home, and basically almost saying she has a good relationship with the governor, but doesn't agree because she hasn't seen that. And she says, as a parent, she is concerned that it is just simply too soon and this may cost lives.
Well, we're making changes here, Archie. We just had our governor today ease some of the restrictions, but it seems like some of the retail operations and some of the businesses that are being allowed to reopen there would be the businesses you would think would be the last to reopen.
Exactly. I mean, we are asking that exact question on Monday when the governor made that decision. How do you practice social distancing at a nail salon or at a barber or even a massage center. There's very difficult ways to even do that. But we did ask the governor, and here's what Brian Kemp says. He says that those places should stagger out their appointments. So if you're a hair salon owner, so that you can start getting that paycheck, because it is crucial for many of these people who've now been unemployed for weeks, to stagger out those appointments, so perhaps not have everybody in at once. Of course, a lot of people are just taking it easy, taking that extra step of caution and simply not choosing to open at all. I'm, for one, going to be at home, and even if my hair is a little bit long, we're going to have to wait for that haircut.
Good luck.
Yeah, well, that's the bottom line. I guess we'll see if people feel safe heading back out. It'll be interesting to watch from afar. Archith, Seshadri, thank you very much for your report from Atlanta tonight.
Absolutely.
Nearly 4.5 million American workers filed first-time unemployment claims last week, and that brings the total number of claims filed in the last 5 weeks to 26.5 million. It's the most sudden surge in jobless claims since the Labor Department started tracking the data in 1967. About 16% of the U.S. labor force is suffering from layoffs, furloughs, or reduced hours during the pandemic.
Tens of millions are now out of work and losing a job during this pandemic.